I started by calling them YouTube frat boys, and I stick by that.
Or they're I don't even they're clickbait artists.
They're clickbait. Yeah, that's a good term too. They're clickbait artists.
Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday we were very surprised to get a DM from a follower in London, Ontario, who said a podcast episode has been released by the Deputy Mayor of London attacking us, Roca, and the video we made from the city. This video's got 500,000 views. It's called Inside Canada's Zombie Capital. It's one of the most popular videos we ever made, not necessarily in terms of the view count, but in terms of the feedback we've gotten. So we were very proud of this piece. Thought it was great conversation. We thought it exposed something to the world, and that was the way people received it. A tidal wave of feedback followed this piece. All of it was positive, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that. It was remarkable to see the feedback. A lot of people said no one has drawn attention to this, and then you guys came here and did it. Thank you. So we were surprised to see this podcast episode attacking us in an extremely condescending way. And I'll be honest, it'd be one thing if you came at it and said, we criticized it in a whatever. That's not what this was. Seriously. They didn't even try to reach out to us. No offer to speak to us. No invitation. No questioning us. Nothing. Instead, the deputy mayor of the city and then a podcaster there put out this episode accusing us of being bought and paid for, of having an agenda, of being biased YouTube frat boys. It was just extremely condescending. It didn't make sense to us. I mean, honestly, we were just trying to do our job and just report what we saw there, and this is what we get. So we invited the deputy mayor to sit down for an interview with us. That was about, I think, 6 hours before this, 5 or 6 hours before this. We got no reply. We sent a follow-up email, no reply. But we'd still love to speak to him. But we're not too happy, to be totally honest. It just didn't feel right. Felt like a bit of a low blow. Billy, you got anything?
Nothing to add. Hopefully we get a response to that email. I think without further ado, let's jump into it.
I started by calling them YouTube frat boys, and I stick by that.
Or they're clickbait artists.
They're clickbait. Yeah, that's a good term too. They're clickbait artists.
You may be wondering why. Why is the city of London, Ontario coming after RocaNews? Why are they calling us YouTube frat boys? Why are they calling us clickbait artists? It's because we expose the truth about Canada's zombie capital. Now, we're going to get into this today because, boy, are we fired up. You don't just come here from London, Ontario and assault us over the internet at our RocaNews headquarters. We take this very personally because we are here to highlight the truth, and we found a city where we saw people shooting up on the street, offering us crystal meth, overdoses, prostitution. We saw it all, broad daylight, on a Friday afternoon. The government does not want you to know what we saw. They are coming at us. Billy, how are you doing today?
I am doing great, and it's a great day to be a YouTube frat bro, I will tell you, because this is exciting. I mean, this is, obviously we have our disagreements with the clips we're about to go through, but it is really cool to see that Roca has gotten to a point now where what we say, matters, and city officials have to respond to it. And what greater, joy than that, putting something out into the world and it meaning something.
This is why the media exists. And this is why it's so great what's happened, where we are able to get out there and independent creators are able to shed the truth. Because if it were just up to the corporate media and the government, you would never see this stuff. When we went to the city of London, Ontario, we couldn't believe what we were seeing. Couldn't believe it. And we went for one reason, because our followers in the city DM'd us and they said, you got to come here and see what's happened to our city. So we stopped in the city. It's a city of around 450,000 people. Halfway between Toronto and Windsor or Detroit, there in southern Ontario. And we got there, and it took, not even before we got out of the car, we were seeing stuff that shocked us. And as we went deeper into the city, we found more and more things that were just terrifying. It would be like if you took Kensington in Philadelphia and you put it into what seems to just be a nice town. And, a small city, take a really idyllic looking place, drop needles into the park, prostitutes onto the downtown strip, you name it. This place struck us as dystopian, and we were just honest in seeing that. So Billy, let's get into it. We can talk some more about this. One last thing I want to say before I get into this. This video, when we put it out there, which was about a month ago, no video we've ever posted has had such a response. Our inbox was flooded with replies from people from London, all saying the same thing, which was, thank you. Thank you for saying this. Our elected officials need to know what's happening, and so on. So let's get into it, Billy. Play some of the clips.
And before we jump right into clips, one last thing I do want to say, just as another point here, they put up this Facebook post the other day with the release of this podcast episode, and you can see they have 16 likes, some ha-has, and some loves on this, and 89 comments. Not the greatest of ratios. And basically, it's resident after resident of London essentially saying the video is actually accurate and you're gaslighting us. So,
yeah, I mean, it's pretty eye-opening to see this. Nothing clickbait about it. They're saying you are gaslighting us, talking to the deputy mayor.
And do kind of like a feature-esque, hey, here's how awful things are in London, and I'm going to show you this person sleeping in an alley, I'm going to show you this person doing drugs, I'm going to interview that person who says this is terrible, all these things. I haven't watched these things through, but I know the general gist of what's going on here. So what's the reaction from you as a deputy mayor within the city of London at 300 Dufferin there when we see these things come up and they're generating a lot of conversation, like it or not?
They are, and my first reaction is stop treating YouTube frat boys with monetized YouTube channels as legitimate journalists, because they're not. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And if you look at any of these videos,
I like his logic that, like, if your page is not monetized, you're therefore more reputable. Like, if people don't trust what you say and people don't watch your stuff, you have more clout. Doesn't make a ton of sense to me. I did pick the wrong day to wear a Brooks Brothers polo, though, when I'm defending myself as the YouTube.
You might be
frat
onto
boys.
something here.
Let it rip.
And I took a look at the RocaNews one. I haven't looked at the other two because I know what they are.
Rocco's
I've
Modern
seen
World.
15, 20 seconds of a couple of them.
You get
some
the
of
gist
them
of it
have
pretty
been
quick.
some of them have been clipped and circulated on social media by individuals. You get the gist of what they're doing, and really what they're doing is distorting the truth considerably. And the city knows that.
Distorting the truth considerably. Billy, please pull up inside Canada's zombie capital. I want you to jump to the point about 4 minutes left in the video, where the woman, go back, right here, right. Yeah, let this clip ride into the next. Just a block away, a beautiful neighborhood was left to pick up the needles.
They're not gonna come, and there's kids playing there right now. Like, I have no option but to do that.
I mean, it's a beautiful park. Families out.
Beautiful park, but then it mixes in with everything on Dundas there. This is why I'm moving to a small town.
You're moving away.
Oh, I'm moving away. Yeah. I'm taking my son back there. He's 5. Like, he shouldn't have to see stuff like this.
This lady is not alone. This deputy mayor, Sean Lewis, he's saying that we're making this up. It's not representative. If it's not representative, Deputy Mayor Lewis, why is this woman selling her home and moving away? Why? Did we pay her to do that? Is this our stunt? You think we came from New York up to London, Ontario, so we could lie to people about what's going on there? Wrong. All right, Billy, let it play.
All right, so this next one we have Deputy Mayor acknowledging a few blocks are bad, but accusing us of portraying this as the entire city.
There's an issue with 3 or 4 blocks of the Old East Village area.
Yeah.
Right? Between the police station and Western Fair, there's an area of the city that's got a lot of struggles right now. That's not a surprise or a mystery to anyone here. However, to show those same 3 or 4 blocks repeatedly and claim that it's the entirety of the city is really blowing the issue out of proportion.
Now, anyone who watched the video knows we said explicitly this is not the whole city. This is the downtown core. And the thing that's shocking to us is that the rest of the city is beautiful. And the people in these really privileged areas of the city allowed this to happen. I mean, we said it numerous times in the video. We showed how gorgeous it is. And the thing that's so infuriating about it to the people who live there And the thing that caught our attention as visitors is the fact that the people living in nice neighborhoods of the city let this happen. It'd be one thing if the whole city were like this. It's not. It's the downtown, these businesses. When you drive for a mile or more heading into downtown, what you see here is boarded up building, boarded up building, boarded up building, and then open air drug use, open air drug market after another, one after another. Going to the theater there's a theater in the midst of the zombie land or whatever the people call it. And that's a term that we did not come up with. When we got there, someone told us, use that term, and we subsequently named the video after it. In the middle of this strip is a theater where there's a magic show going on. There's a Friday night, there's a magic show going on. In the parking lot where people were parking to then walk into the theater, the person you had to walk past, it was a prostitute in a car performing acts on a man sitting in the front seat. And this is right where everyone is buying and selling fentanyl openly. We were offered crystal meth for free. A lady just came up to us and she said, "You guys want to try this?" And she had it in her hand. We're not making this up. Billy, play the clip.
So we're going to jump around a little bit. So we're going to go to this point, which I thought was kind of interesting. Basically, he says, petty thefts occur. Don't leave stuff in your car, which is a interesting perspective.
I will note, I know there's going to be people that say, hey, there's a lot of like property crimes and thefts and things that don't get reported. Yes, that's true, and that's frustrating. I'm not telling you that people should be happy when stuff gets stolen from their car or their window gets broken or whatever it is. However, when we're talking about severe violent crimes, no one's keeping those a secret.
Exactly. When you're talking about, murders, sexual assaults causing bodily harm, manslaughter, those kind of things, those are not being kept secret. And just as an aside, I would say to the people who do have, and I've had it happen myself, my car's been broken into, stuff's been strewn all over the place. I don't leave anything valuable in it, so it's not like they were able to steal anything of real value. I mean, a pair of cheap headphones and a pair of winter gloves, well, I'm, not really out that much. But you have to report them. You have to go online. Because when you say, well, there's a whole bunch happening that aren't reported, if they're not reported, statistically, they didn't happen.
Right.
If we want the police to know where the hot spots are, where they need to, have patrol improvements, where they need to be proactive in neighborhoods, we've got to report the stuff so they know where the things are happening. Otherwise,
we're showing in the video where the stuff's happening.
Yeah.
And
again, you talk to the people there, and the one man on his porch we kind of built the video around. He said he had so many people break into his house, and he said he had recently had a heart attack. So now he doesn't know what to do because if somebody breaks into his house, he doesn't have the physical power to fight them off the way he would have before. Again, we're not making this up. We have no fiber of our body was like, let's show up in this random Canadian city that we don't know anything about and let's just shit on it. That's not the way we operate.
Speaking of Canadian cities, so in this next clip, basically, the deputy mayor says, basically justifies London being as it is because other parts of Canada are worse, and says or accuses us of targeting London specifically. I didn't say why.
backyard, 2 blocks from Parliament Hill in the Byward Market District, and I heard this pretty much from every member of council who went to Ottawa. It's 10 times worse there. It's they were literally, they said there were people sleeping on the street every 10 feet, all throughout the Market District, 2 blocks from Parliament Hill. If you go down to downtown Hamilton right now, and hockey season starts this weekend for my U14 team. We do travel around to some different cities to play.
Hamilton's not nearly
Hamilton's
as bad.
one of the cities we would typically travel to.
We were there.
Same problems in downtown Hamilton.
Not nearly as bad.
Same problems in Kitchener-Waterloo.
Not nearly as bad
These
in
are
Kitchener.
not
We were in all
unique
these
to
places.
London,
No.
and to label London as the capital of all of these problems based on hyperbola and hearsay and no statistical evidence, it's just clickbait.
The bail thing you mentioned. The City of London doesn't invent their own bail rules.
Absolutely.
So, therefore, it's not just a problem here. That's not how this works.
I'm going to blame Trudeau as well.
Yeah. So what's interesting about this is the guy proceeds to say some stuff that's not super woke. And I think that the reason a lot of people think you have these policies, you have this issue, especially in Canada. For context, in Canada, we were there. We went to, I think, 6 cities. We spent a day in each. Niagara Falls, Hamilton, London, Kitchener, Toronto, Windsor. I might be missing some. Every single city, the downtown core has been hollowed out. It's abandoned businesses, abandoned buildings, whatever, and then open air drug use and homeless encampments in every single one. So we're not saying London has some unique thing here. I mean, it's clear that this is whatever combination of factors in Canada is creating this. We're actually working on a new video right now looking at the factors of what is causing this. Also, I need to say, we did email the deputy mayor and asked him to do an interview with us this morning. He spent 5 hours, didn't get a response. What's interesting here, though, is the mayor's blaming the kind of progressive policies, the deputy mayor is blaming the kind of progressive policies of the Ontario government, like soft bail reform laws and safe injection sites and all this other kind of stuff. So essentially saying you have a policy issue that's creating this. Now, again, I'm not in politics. If I were, I would look at this and I would use this video to try to push back on the government above me. And I would say, we have a serious issue where multiple people have come to the city and made a video about how it is a zombie land. We clearly have an issue. Take that, go to the governor, go to the head of the province, and say, we need to fix something. We need to do something about it. Bring it to the people in your city and get them in line. The fact is, the conversations we had there, the comments on this man's Facebook post are all agreeing with the video. So they want change. They don't want elected officials who sit there and say everything is fine when they know they're stepping on needles to go to a magic show on a Friday night. They're not stupid, right? Billy, what do you think?
Yeah, it's odd. He's saying, right, like, you know, in the beginning of the podcast, that there is no problem. We're blowing it out of proportion. We're misrepresenting the city. Then he's saying there is a problem. There are these bail laws. There's, you know, the drug policies, whatever. I totally agree with you. I mean, you know, is this not terrific evidence you can take to, you know, hire a constituent and say, hey, look at what is happening in London. Can we please get some help? Can we please get some reform? It's a very odd way to respond to criticism, I guess.
This gets back to the experience I just had in the UK of going around and talking to people, working class people, just not non-wealthy people in the UK about the situation there and the way they talk about the asylum seekers there. And they say that this is a real problem in their communities. Immigration, and especially the asylum seekers, their equivalent of illegal immigration, is bringing drugs, crime, they say all this kind of stuff. There's evidence of it. I don't know if it's to the scale they say. The issue is definitely blown up there by politicians and right-wing media. That being said, there is certainly it's based in a reality to some extent. Now, I've seen it. We saw it. We saw people on the street who were telling us one story after another of what they had seen happen with these drug gangs, Somali people and stuff that have come in from overseas. Then you talk to people about this in the media. You talk to people who are like of the elite, and they say it's not true. Well, they haven't gone there. They haven't talked to people, and we have the video evidence to back it up. It's the same exact thing happening here, where you have the elite, the people who are in power, just refusing, just denying in the face of video evidence. You know, do not believe your lying eyes is what they're saying. Let's keep it going, Billy.
And on that point, I mean, they say don't believe the videos, trust mainstream journalists, which is, I mean, you've seen it in the U.S. in the past 10 years, a recipe for disaster. The rise of independent media, you know, which is now a lot of it's very conspiratorial, is kind of a result of these institutions failing us for decades. So it's you know, a little disheartening to hear that coming from elected officials. So on that point, I'm going to play a couple more clips here for you. So we have them talking about why we can't be trusted because we make money from the videos. I think we already touched on that. We have him saying, you know, the issue with homeless people, when as he sees, is because when he walks around, he's scared they may OD, and that's his biggest concern, which of course is a concern, but, you know, I think there's some other issues with people being on the streets. I'm going to actually jump ahead here to them hypothesizing that somebody invited us to London, because that's a fun one.
Well, quite honestly, I question whose agenda they're serving here.
Yeah.
You know, and I can't help but wonder if they've been invited here by someone, frankly.
Is that like
I
an
can't help but
anti-Semitic?
wonder if these folks have been invited here
to make this seem
worse.
Yep. Well, I wonder the same thing, and it's frustrating.
Can you
because
just pause
it's
it real
not
quick, Billy? I love these two dudes sitting there doing this podcast, like egging each other on. This guy's like, "Yeah, I think someone brought him here to do this." The other guy's like, "He's like, yeah, I was thinking the same thing." Come on, like this is just nuts.
And as a refresher, we were invited here by several of our viewers saying, you know, you can speak to that better for us, but.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't. The city was not on our radar. It was just the fact that people DM'd us and they said to come. We have in the video. We showed the DMs that we got. We're not making this up. I mean, this is people said it. But you can finish the clip, Billy. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Good. The rest of this clip is about 20 more seconds. Them saying we can't be trusted because our YouTube makes money.
The Canada's Zombie Capital video that we were talking about earlier, 500,000 views.
Yeah.
On YouTube right now. And again, someone's collecting cash off
Absolutely.
of that.
These are monetized YouTube channels. These are professional YouTubers. They make money from this, and it is clickbait nonsense.
Yeah. He's going to go on a little bit here to talk about the commenters, many of whom apparently live in London, need a civics lesson. Not a great way to speak to residents.
But I see in the comments like, oh, London police are just giving these people drugs to do, and they give these people their drugs back after they talk to them. Like that's not true.
That's not true.
That's not true at all.
I've seen them say London City Council's funding the drug program. Also not true.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of Civics 101 that needs to happen, clearly, from some of the comments, because it's very clear that there's a significant number of folks who don't understand which level of government does what.
Go ahead, Frost.
No, I mean, he works for the people. Like this is how it works in a democracy. You don't get to decide what's the fact and what's not the fact. I mean, the people there are telling us this. The people there, the commenters, are from the city. They're commenting this. I just want to read one comment that I screenshotted off this video that I think is worth quoting. Somebody writes this. I'm in London, and I teach high school co-op out of the BGC, I don't know, which is located at the center of this, a block west of the Salvation Army. I fear for my students every day coming into class. We come out back of the building and find them doing drugs or passed out against the building, and we have to shout at them to get the fuck away because it's a youth center. 6 or 7 years ago, it was nothing like this. It exploded almost overnight. He goes on to talk more about the, quote, he uses the word zombie situation. So this is someone does that sound like someone who's insane? Does that sound like someone who's making this up? Or does it sound like someone who's working here in the community at a school who is actually scared? And this is something we heard over and over and over again, because there's a school right on the drag, like that's been taken over by the homeless encampments and stuff. We talked to numerous people who either worked at the school or went to the school, and they said this is a major problem. Their kids are now walking in and out of school past this. And the stuff that you see, we met one woman who said she won't let her kids out of the house because she used to be an addict, and she was worried that if her kids were exposed to this, they would become addicts. This is real life, not fake news, which we're called here shortly in the interview.
Where the issues are stemming from, I come back to there's an agenda behind these videos, and my message to people is don't share them. All you're doing is making these guys money.
Don't share them.
You know, see the facts for yourself. Come downtown. Yes, you know what? You might walk through a block where you see a couple of people smoking something or injecting something.
Or sleeping in a stairwell that's unoccupied or whatever. Yeah.
And then the next block, you're going to see, especially on a day like today, you're going to see patios full at the Seeps or at Toboggan, or because people are out having a good time. You're going to see people playing Frisbee or catch in Victoria Park. Like, there's a whole other side of London that's not being presented in these videos. It's slanted, it's biased, and it's not journalism. It's fake news, really.
Yeah.
Oh! Wow! So there it is. In a democracy, I'm elected, and then I can say that these other people are fake news because they put out misinformation I don't want. This is why we cannot have hate speech and misinformation laws. If you take this guy... Now, just say we're a more influential outlet, say this is a national thing, and say they proceed to enact a law banning misinformation, banning hate speech. They say, the politician says, this is misinformation because I don't like it. This is why we can't have these laws. And I know that's an opinion, but I don't understand how people in the media who are not controlled by politicians can oppose this. Now, if I work for CNN and I'm essentially an arm of, the Democratic Party, well, sure. Let's outlaw the misinformation because companies like Roca threaten our monopoly on the information. Let's outlaw them. That's good for me. Now, if I'm someone who cares deeply about principles of free speech and truth, you cannot have this. This is the exact reason why. Him calling us fake news because we're going on. He just said himself, come downtown to dinner. It's great. Yeah, you might walk past a block of people shooting up. This is not normal. Billy, is this normal?
In most places, it's not. I mean, in London, it seems to happen quite a bit.
It's not normal. It's not. And there's something, too, that I always find it refreshing to talk to people who come to the U.S. and they see situations here, and then you talk to them about it. And it's always interesting to see their perspectives because when you're in it, you don't really realize. There's a lot of stuff that we don't notice because we live here. New York City is a great example. Living here, we're accustomed to seeing stuff all the time. It doesn't really register on us a lot of the crazier things that we probably see on a daily basis. Then someone comes from out of town, they see stuff, they ask you why it's like this, and you're like, I haven't noticed that. I'm immune to it. And it's a really interesting phenomenon. I think one of the best ways to learn about your own place, your own society, your country, is talking to people who are not from there when they come. And that was our experience going here. Maybe the people there are fine with it, but I don't even think they are. It's just the mayor. It's just this podcast and the deputy mayor who is saying this. But if you talk to the people there, they all say it did not used to be like this. This is new. 6 to 7 years. Everyone we talked to across Canada, they said this shift happened around the start of the pandemic, maybe a year or so before, 2019. So that'd be 6 years ago. And that's what the commenters are saying. They're saying 6 to 7 years ago, all this stuff changed. So the only one who's saying it's new is the person whose job is to run the city and who people are saying is doing a questionable job.
Should not be teaching an Accountability 101 course anytime soon. So we're going to jump in over here now to what London's response will be.
My question for you then is, what does, and maybe exactly what you're doing right now is the answer, what does the City of London do in response to this? Because, hey, look, people in this community listen to my podcast. I'm not going to get 500,000 listeners to this episode. So what does the City of London do in response to this?
Well, I mean, this is part of it, having these conversations with legitimate journalists like yourself, having conversations with people who send it to us by email and providing them responses and sort of debunking the nonsense and sharing some facts with them and frankly acknowledging that there's a problem, but the problem is not how it's being presented. That's part of it. But I think the other part is there needs to be a rebuttal video, I would call it. There needs to be a response, and I can say to you now that the mayor and I have talked about this. It's being worked on. We're going to put out something else that's showing some of the flip side of what's going on in London without denying the problems.
I got to read something. So we saw this Monday night. I think he posted it Monday. We saw it Monday night. I need to read you all an email that we received today. In fact, it was about an hour after I emailed the deputy mayor responding to his podcast episode. We received this email. Writer writes in. He says, where is it? Hi, Max, Billy, and team. I felt compelled to reach out to express how much I appreciate what you're doing. I first learned about Roca News thanks to your video on my zombie-infested hometown, London, Ontario. There's something so ingeniously simple about the concept. A couple of American visitors with a camera roll into a town and speak to real people about the struggles they face. It's some of the most honest, legitimate journalism available now. I say that with some melancholy since I was a daily newspaper reporter for a decade and I lament what has happened to traditional media. Thank goodness for entrepreneurial journalists like you. Please keep up the great work.
It's a very nice email.
Very nice email. And that's a perspective that we seriously take to heart. Elected official who is going to attack us. What's funny is I don't think he knew we were American.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it. I feel like you would have made a point to say it like these guys are coming in from America and doing X, Y, and Z.
I definitely think so. Definitely. So I think he just didn't do his research, I think, on who we are or what we are or whatever. the Rocco. I kind of like RocaNews.
That could stick. Rolls off the tongue. All right, so we have one more clip. Basically, them accusing us of not talking to people in the police force, which I don't know for us. Maybe it's a good point.
Yeah,
What do you
let's see.
think?
Yeah.
And if you're doing a legitimate piece on this, and you're going to criticize the police, why aren't you talking to Chief Trong? If you're going to say, oh, businesses are closing up and leaving the city, why aren't you coming to talk to some business owners?
Yeah.
You know, why aren't you talking to Mike Smith? Had an employee stabbed. Why aren't you talking to him? Because it doesn't fit your narrative.
Right.
I don't know.
Because
You know,
Mike's not going to say
that
it's the
would
most
fit the
drug
narrative.
addicted city in Canada.
Yeah, you want to criticize council, but you don't interview any members of council. You know, you've got to do. If you're going to present a story like this, you got to actually go to the people you're criticizing and get their side too. Otherwise, it's just clickbait. And honestly, folks, I mean, it comes back to don't believe everything you read on the internet or everything you see on the internet. And I'm afraid to say, like with AI now, this kind of stuff gets even easier to fake and make worse.
It's like the classic thing when you go to like any kind of like conference or meeting now, you can't go 5 minutes without hearing AI. Here, to link AI into this is priceless. He's trying to sound relevant, I think. I think it's fair. You know, we would have liked to talk to the police. We did try to interview paramedics, and they told us to bugger off. And we didn't talk about the politicians. We said nothing about it. And in fact, what we said for the cause of this, we said there's two main theories that are put forward. One is that policies, whether at the state or local level, have enabled this, provincial or local level have enabled this. And two is that it's just a function of housing prices. We put those two things out. We did not blame the government at all. You can't find one line in this video in which you said that. Now, that's partially because we couldn't get a hold of people. We tried. We always try to get a hold of people when we go places. But the thing is, we shoot these videos on the fly. We're moving quickly. Like we said, we didn't know we'd stop and make a video in London. And then we got there and we started talking to people. We said, oh, wow, there's a story here. Talk to people. Now, the other thing to say is I think that this is indicative of just the shift. I think this is an underappreciated aspect of what's changed in the media. For a long time, a journalist meant, you had to take your time writing a long form story, you go and interview people and whatever. Well, it's changed. The idea that these other people get to define it, no, society defines it. If people are watching our video and they're learning something from our video and they're saying this is accurate. And again, there are places we've gone where I would concede that our representation wasn't wholly accurate. And we've said this before. People have said stuff in the comments. We've said, you're right. We missed that. No problem in doing that. None. Zero. We're not going out to slander. We're not going out to slander places. We're not going out to whatever. This video, I didn't see one person, seriously, until this podcast, who came out and said that what we did was not accurate. It was remarkable. It was very different from most videos. You always get a couple people saying, "Oh, you guys should have said this." Yeah, okay, sure. Here, we didn't get that.
Every comment on this post, pull it up again. Every comment on this post that they put up for the podcast is accusing the mayor of gaslighting them. I mean, somebody said it direct. I mean, nothing clickbaity about those videos.
If we're going to be a city of homelessness, you wouldn't get me downtown the evening, not in hell. The replies are great too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's clear that it's bad for this guy's mayoral ambitions or political ambitions, whatever he may have. But again, the thing is, I don't think my outlook on this is too different from his. I mean, he said, what he said aligned with a lot of what we heard. He's saying that one issue is the high cost of housing, something he pinned a lot on the massive rate of immigration. Canada in recent years has started building one new housing unit for every 4 immigrants who've come in. It's exacerbated the housing shortage. This is an undeniable issue. It's put pressure on housing prices. It's led to increased homelessness. He said that, and I don't disagree with him. He talked about the issue of the drug sites, the safe injection sites, and he said that he's not supportive of the policy. And that's something, I mean, looking at it, it clearly isn't fixing the problem of drug abuse and addiction here. So the stuff that he said, I don't think I'm so dissimilar from. I think my read on this is he saw the video as though we were coming and creating a hit piece on his government. which wasn't even what we were doing. Not at all. It's just a snapshot of life in one place. And whether the blame lies with his government, the provincial government, the national government, I have no idea. It's not my job. I don't know enough. Frankly, I don't really care enough to know. This was just creating a snapshot like all of our videos. It's not saying we have all the answers. It's a YouTube video about a place, what it's like in a specific place. And we rely on conversations with people in these places to paint that picture. But this was interesting.
And again, you know, if people were coming to us and saying, hey, it's actually a great place, like you're really in the one bad neighborhood, it's wonderful everywhere else, we would, I mean, that gets included in the video. Like there's no agenda here.
To be fair, if the video weren't representative, it wouldn't have 500,000 views.
Right.
I mean, this video got shared widely on X. I mean, it got, we probably 100,000 of the views may have even come from social media, people sharing it outside of here. So, yeah. I mean, again, if people reacted negatively to it, it wouldn't have gotten pushed out there by the eye. We know how this works. Good videos get a lot of views and bad videos don't get a lot of views. It's very rare. It's very rare for you to find a video that's got millions of views and the comments are like, this video is totally inaccurate, because the algorithm just doesn't favor that kind of content in our experience. So,
right. I mean, you can make like kind of extremist content that'll go big, but
yeah.
Again, you know, people just this is like live footage from downtown in a city. This isn't like, we're not like sitting in a room and talking about something. This is on the ground reporting. This is journalism. It
is, and it's what they hate. But this is why you get into the issue. And in fact, the conversation we were having earlier this morning, you know, there's a lot of pressure to not do this. There's a huge amount of pressure, social pressure, government pressure to not highlight issues. And if you highlight an issue, you're tarred with this. It was the same when we made the Brampton video. Now, it's funny about the Brampton video. For those of you who don't know, Brampton it was a town of like 30,000 people in Canada about 50 years ago. Today, it's a city about 750,000 people, a large majority of whom are of Indian descent. Made a video about that. The YouTube comments in that video were extremely positive, too. It was interesting, extremely positive. Then, when it got clipped and put up on Instagram, comments were negative, and there's a lot of people saying, just for even asking the question of why this happened, or if it's a good thing or a bad thing, you know, you're racist. And that's just not going to fly. I mean, it's just not going to fly. As long as you have rights, as long as the media has rights, as long as we have freedom of speech, we're good. The issue is when we don't. And there's a lot of people who don't want that because it hurts their own political ambitions and professional ambitions.
Very well said. Anything else?
Watch the video. Just watch it. Tell me refute the evidence. And I would love for the deputy mayor to watch through this video. And I want him to respond to people. Forget me. Respond to the woman who said she's moving away. She's taking her 5-year-old kid away from here because he's stepping on needles. Yeah. Tell her. To the guy who's walking down the street with his kid, he's holding his kid's hand as they're going through the encampment and people are smoking fentanyl in front of them. What's his response to him? You can't say this is fake. If it were unusual, the guy there would not have said, I'm going to come through here with a bulldozer. He was angry. The lady would not be selling her home and moving away. Not just to a different part of London, mind you. Out of the city entirely. That's all I have to say about it. I'm proud of that video. I think it's a great video. I think it's great original reporting. It's a story that has not been told by the Canadian media. And when we put it out, the response was phenomenal because other people are scared to tell the story. So that's what I have to say.
Yeah, I don't think we've gotten nearly as many emails for any other video we've put out compared to this one of people thanking us for covering it. So that's awesome to see, and blessed to be able to do it. Well, blessed for you to be able to do it, and as I sit here and do the other stuff.
Can't wait to go back to Canada. We had a great time on that trip. People are really, really friendly, really easy to talk to. Obvious stories. I mean, it was very easy to figure out interesting stuff. The place that we've had a ton of readers tell us to go is Alberta, you know, which allegedly is going to become the 51st state. Actually, someone sent me a story the other day. I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently one of the people leading this Alberta secessionist movement had a meeting with some Trump officials last week.
Do you know what the process for that is? Like,
what the person who sent it to me was saying they're just hypothesizing on their own. I don't know what the actual process is within Canada. I don't think it's possible. I mean, I think it's not going to happen within Canada. What this person was saying was all it takes is the U.S. to invite them in, and then what's Canada going to do about it? No, essentially, I don't. You know,
you got to imagine that would be pretty bad for the country's relationships. And also,
I think it'd be
you've
like
seen what's
war.
happened with Russia and Ukraine. Like, you would think everybody else would freak out about this as well across the world.
I think it'd be an absolute catastrophe.
Beautiful place, though, Alberta.
Have you been?
No, but I've always wanted to go to Banff. That's been like number one on my bucket list, besides Japan for a while. But no, I've not, unfortunately.
Pull up a picture of the Banff homeless encampment.
Pull up a photo of the national park,
Yeah, let's see.
so we can end on this.
Yeah, that is insane. I do have some bad news, though.
You don't need to share it.
I feel like I have to.
All right, what is it?
So that top left picture, you know, the picture everyone takes.
This one?
Yeah. One of my friends went here a couple years ago. Shout out Wineset. And I know that there were a lot of people taking selfies there. Like a tour bus pulled up and like 80 people came out and were taking selfies. It's not what it looks like in the picture for that reason.
As in, like, it's bad because so many people are taking selfies? Or
Yeah,
because
like
it doesn't look
like
it?
the, you know, you view this majestic place and you always see this one picture of like, you're going to get this incredible view. And in reality, you get out and
But
it's just
that's,
like,
that's everywhere that looks nice these days. You can also walk out. I assume you can just walk out into the mountains there and go hiking and, you know, find a little bit of nature. A little bit of TikTok-less nature. I sound like a boomer.
I hope so. In any event, everyone, we should have said this before. What the hell was I thinking? Smash that subscribe button. I mean, whether you stand with us or you stand with the haters down there, up there in City Hall, the lines are drawn. Whose side are you on? Are you on the side of free press, freedom of the press, the rights of the media, truth seeking, or those who would shut us down, label us fake news, crush us, demonetize us, seize our assets? Whose side are you on? That's all we're asking.
Throw us in
Thank you for tuning in.
jail.
Throw us in jail, seriously.
Kill us. Anyways, we would love to have a conversation with the deputy mayor. If your response to our email would be awesome.
That'd be great.
All right.
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone.